My name is Françoise, and I'm the Jeff's director in charge of policy, partnership, and operations, and coordinating as well issues of knowledge, which bring us together today. Since 2019, Jeff has produced good practice briefs to introduce lessons learned from Jeff investment and share them across the partnership. We focus, when we select them, on projects that are particularly illustrative of Jeff's strategy and have a lot of learning potential. We have focused previously on integrated approaches, on private sector engagement, on multi-stakeholder dialogues, on nature-based solutions, on innovation, on gender mainstreaming, on community participation, on sustainability, and other topics. That event is therefore part of a series, and we're very happy to welcome you to a session that it will introduce 2 additional projects to what is already a group of 12 that we have developed and which are available on our Jeff website. These 2 projects today are illustrating good practices on people's participation and governance structures for environmental sustainability, which are 2 very important topics. Now, I'll speak to them in just a minute, but allow me first to backtrack a little bit, since we are together today and we're all part of the Jeff partnerships, to give you a quick update of the current context of Jeff 8 replenishment, which is, as you know, ongoing. It is a topic of common interest, and it is going to shape how we work together in the future. So it's quite essential. The Jeff replenishment process is ongoing. The final pledge, financial pledge session is scheduled for the month of April, so we should know more soon. The Jeff 8 strategic positioning and programming directions papers are available. You can find them on our website if you want to see where the substance is going in Jeff 8. The vision that we have set, that we all have as members of the Jeff partnership, is of course that of a healthy and productive and resilient planet that underpins the health and the well-being of human societies. And in Jeff 8, we are ambitioning to advance further in the integrated approach, which has been initiated in Jeff 6 and expanded in Jeff 7, to continue to bring forward some transformative changes to key economic systems, so that objective is still with us and is driving the Jeff 8 replenishment. There are other increased ambitions too in Jeff 8. As part of the Jeff 8 programming directions, we're also planning to strengthen the country engagement strategy. Jeff's mission is clearly and has always been to empower countries and to help address critical capacity needs that they may have to optimize the impact and the outcomes of what they can accomplish with Jeff resources. So the country engagement strategy encompasses, in that context, an enhanced country support program. You're mostly all of you familiar with what the country support program does in the Jeff partnership. And we expect the dialogue, the country dialogue with OFPs and beyond OFPs, with all stakeholders which have a role to play in Jeff project, to be engaged further by the support of the country support program. At the same time, the Jeff 8 policy directions carry a focus of inclusion, which is an important theme in what we're going to discuss today. Jeff 8 will support countries to restore a healthy environment and to ensure that people-centered post-COVID-19 recovery takes place. And that is a very important objective that ties us also to some of the stakes of the project we're discussing today. Now, knowledge is important to Jeff work. It is even central to Jeff work, and making sure that knowledge is shared and that learning is part of the objective, that the process and the outcome of Jeff effort is very centrally organized around knowledge. So Jeff's knowledge and learning efforts and tools will aim in that context at improving the impact of Jeff funded projects and programs, both at the project level, but also at informing global, regional, and national policy dialogues. So sharing knowledge is where learning starts, and it is extremely important as part of the Jeff mandate, and that's what we're brought together to do today. And so let me step back and go back to what we are to discuss shortly. Today, we have these two projects, as mentioned by William at the onset, which are part of our good practice brief. They have been selected because they illustrate good practices on the role of people's participation and on the role of contribution to governance for environmental sustainability. The first one is about the participatory design of a green cities project in Paraguay. It includes some innovative governance mechanisms among national and local government, private sector, CSOs, and local communities to make sure that participation works and generates global environment benefits, which is the goal of what we're doing. The second one is about sustainable management of peatlands in Indonesia. It shows an example of strong government commitment to develop and implement national and local government policies in collaboration with private sector and local communities. We know that people's participation, strong governance structures, good policies are all critical for system transformation and to generate lasting and transformative impact. All three dimensions are key levers of transformational change, and it's essential that we bring that perspective to all of what we do. Similarly, we also know that transboundary governance models create opportunities to foster coherence in formulating policies and in pushing forward for environmental priorities that can be mainstreamed at all levels. So these two projects that will be discussed are very good illustration of these points. This is not easy to do, but when we can do it, we know it works. So this is certainly something we all want to learn from. Last point, let me mention that the Secretariat is leading the preparation of a GEF-wide knowledge and learning strategy. This will be a commonly designed and commonly used approach of the whole partnership. It will aim at furthering the role of knowledge sharing and learning across the partnership. We're looking forward to engaging you in that conversation, all of you, because that's how we are going to move forward with a better approach that can serve everybody's needs. So welcome again to this knowledge sharing session on Good Practice Brief. Learning from these projects is how we can inform and enhance project design and implementation in the future. We're really looking forward to continue discussions across the GEF partnership on these projects and beyond. We all learn from each other. That's how it works, by exchanging views, by exchanging findings and lessons learned, by capturing them where it works, where it doesn't work. We build our collective capacity to innovate and to transform further. So this drives the scale up of innovations and it fosters the kind of transformational change that we want from GEF investment. So thanks for being here today and being part of this process of generosity in sharing what we have in asking questions, in learning from it. We're looking forward to a very active discussion. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Françoise, por darle el marco a este evento. Entonces vamos a empezar con el primero de los proyectos, que es el que se lleva adelante en la ciudad de Asunción, como Ciudad Verde de las Américas, una ciudad hermosa que tengo el placer de haber visitado varias veces. Paraguay es un país muy cercano y muy querido por todos los uruguayos y siempre buscamos oportunidades para visitar y yo he podido ver el desarrollo enorme que ha tenido esa ciudad a través del tiempo. Y por ello vamos a empezar con la palabra de Silvia Morimoto, la representante residente del Programa de las Naciones Unidas para el Desarrollo en Asunción. Silvia, tienes la palabra.
Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias, William. Thank you so much, Françoise, for your wonderful words. I fully agree. The GF projects are one of the most beautiful projects that I had the opportunity to work with. I also believe in what you said, that sharing knowledge is the way to grow, is the way to empower more sustainable development world. Thank you so much, Kyoko-san, for making this happen. She's very diligent, and thanks to her, we are all here. And thank you, Vice Minister George Bosch, from the Ministry of Urbanization of Paraguay to join us. It's so wonderful to work in such a wonderful partnership that we have with the ministry. I don't know who's going to show the slides. Am I supposed to show the slides or Ikuko-san?
Ed, could you share the UAD?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
But I don't know who's going to. So the city, like William said, hello, can you see me?
Yes, please go ahead. We can see the slides and we can hear you well.
Okay, like William said, the city of Asunción, when you see from the above, I live on the 23rd floor, gives you the impression of being in a city that built inside a forest. I just feel that I'm living in a jungle here. The Asunción Green City of the Americas Pathway to Sustainability Project, one of the GF investments, aims to strengthen and support Asunción's ambition to become a greener and more sustainable city. Asunción is extremely green, seems beautiful from the above. When you get into the main floor, to the city, you see that there are a lot of challenges. And this project tackles a series of challenges through an integrated approach, like Francois said, seeking to advance integrated land use planning of the metropolitan area of Asunción, reduce greenhouse gas emissions from transportation and waste, reduce unintentionally, I'm already in the second slide. Reduce unintentionally, produce persistent organic pollutants, and improve protecting green area management. The project has a strengthened collaboration between several governments, institutions. It's led by the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development and implemented by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, in coordination with the Ministry of Public Works and Communication, the Ministry of Urban Housing and Habitat, the Technical Planning Secretariat, the National Emergency Secretariat, the municipalities of Asunción, and NGOs such as Guirá Paraguay and the Network of Sustainable Cities with funding from GF. It's really an integrated approach. It's remarkable. It's wonderful to see how it worked well. Next slide, please. So to improve coordination among different national and local government institutions, a key factor to the successful implementation is that the project has developed an innovative governance system for relevant stakeholder engagements. The project also promoted joint initiatives between government and the private sector. It's extremely important to engage the private sector to advance good practices in waste segregation and promote a circular economy together with local vulnerable communities. Thus, the project established an innovative, like I said, innovative integrated governance for relevant stakeholders engagement, and the mechanism works as a key decision-making body of 3 instances. The first is the project board, which meets annually to approve project activities and annual budget and review project implementation. The board members include the heads of each implementing institution, such as ministers, the mayor of Asunción, UNDP rep, which is me, and also the reps from the International Development Bank and others. The project board was particularly effective in prioritizing and building consensus about cross-cutting urban planning among different national government institutions, 11 municipalities in the metropolitan area, and key donors of projects. The second part is the technical committee, which serves as a practical coordination platform to define project activities and facilitates their development. This instance provides technical support in the 3 main areas, such as land use planning, transportation, waste management, and urban green areas. And the last one is the working groups. These 8 thematic working groups provide an open dialogue that aims to build trust among different stakeholders, made up of representatives from partner institutions, academia, the private sector, NGOs, public institutions, and consultants. The working groups serve as a great platform for active engagement of diverse stakeholders. Each working group consists of over 12 different institutions and around 20 people per group who meet monthly to discuss action plans for each use. Next, please. So these are the 8 working groups established for a people-centric approach. This total 8 groups get specialists from all implementing institutions, like I said, relevant stakeholders, civil society organizations, to ensure a participatory design of more sustainable, resilient cities. That was also the aim of the project. Next, please. So it's important to explain that Paraguay's urban population has dramatically increased in the past 4 decades. This rapid growth has created a series of challenges, such as the need for integrated urban planning, sustainable transportation, solid waste management, and improved management of green areas. Although covering less than 2%, 0.2% of the country's surface area, Asunción metropolitan area generates almost 48% of Paraguay's raw national product. Thus, ambition and the 10 municipalities, Asunción and the 10 municipalities of we call AMA, play a key role in the sustainable development of the country. It's critical to have this integrated, sustainable, and resilient urban planning across the 11 municipalities, because the challenge in the AMA, in Asunción municipality area, are all interlinked. So if I solve a problem of transportation in Asunción, if I don't solve this problem in Luque, it's all I will have the same problem because it's all interlinked. Next, please. So one example that I really love, and I was delighted to inaugurate this solution, was to address this challenge. Like I said, of the 11 municipalities, we have created an association of municipalities of the Asunción metropolitan area to consolidate this integrated, sustainable, and resilient urban planning and budget. So it's not just planning and budget, but goes from transportation, from the way to manage solid waste. It's really beautiful to see all the 11 mayors discussing how can we address this problem, these challenges in an integrated manner. The second, next, please. So the other beautiful and innovative solutions are the development of knowledge and products and constant training, aiming to provide technical guidance and strength capabilities, was another success factor to ensure that the scaling up of the activities. And we have several, we have many that Vice Minister Bosch will share with you. And my last point, which is the next slide, please. Is the empowering of local communities. Like Francois said, we work with this project, always trying to empower local communities, always working with civil society to strengthen initiatives that offer local solutions to local data environmental challenges. This project is extremely rewarding. It's such a pleasure because it touches upon, like Francois said, policy, local communities, guidelines, training, capacity building, And we work with more than 9 institutions and 11 municipalities. So it's really rewarding and innovative. I don't think I ever saw a project that is so integrated. And this is like the way we should handle projects, in my humble opinions, if you want to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, which also ask us to work on an integrated manner. Colleagues, this is my part, and now I hand to the Vice Minister Bosch. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Please invite us more often. I also love to learn from others. And please come and visit us in Asunción. Thank you. Mr. Bosch.
Let me just jump in there. Thank you very much, Celia, for your presentation and your contagious enthusiasm about this very interesting work. I don't think I mentioned earlier, but we are going to have a section on questions and answers and discussion after we've listened to the discussants. So as the questions come in or comments come into your mind, please put them in the chat, because my colleague Sojourn will moderate that session, and we'll be able to bring all these questions and comments forward at that time. So just write them in the chat, and we'll bring them up at that time. And now, as Celia said, let us give the floor to Mr. Jorge Bosch, Vice Minister in Paraguay. Señor Bosch, tiene la palabra.
Muy buenos días, buenas tardes, depende de dónde estén, ¿verdad? Y saludos para Silvia Morimoto, representante del PNUD en Paraguay, con quien estamos trabajando mucho en todos estos temas. También saludos a William, por sus palabras sobre Asunción y el Paraguay, ¿verdad? Que le esperamos cuando quiera visitarnos, también estamos aquí. Bueno, entrando un poco en el tema, como mencionó Silvia, una de las claves del éxito del proyecto es fortalecer la colaboración con el sector privado y empoderar a las comunidades locales. Y esto, lógicamente, es un trabajo no siempre es fácil, pero en el cual estuvimos trabajando muy entusiasmados, avanzando en todos los diferentes proyectos, gracias a que estamos llevando adelante a nivel del gobierno central, gracias al PNUD y gracias también a GEF, lógicamente, ¿verdad? Bueno, para asegurar que las soluciones propuestas sean sostenibles y tengan un gran impacto positivo, el proyecto buscó siempre la participación activa del sector privado, las organizaciones de la sociedad civil y las comunidades locales. Las iniciativas conjuntas desarrolladas con el liderazgo y la participación de las instituciones contrapartes incluyen Asunción Recicla y Mi Barrio Sin Residuos. Son las dos organizaciones, con la Municipalidad de Asunción, el MADES, que es la entidad que el Ministerio del Medio Ambiente del Paraguay, y entidades del sector privado como Coca-Cola Paraguay y otras empresas locales que apoyaron la promoción de buenas prácticas relacionadas a la separación de residuos, aportando a impulsar una economía más circular junto con las comunidades vulnerables locales. En el área metropolitana de Asunción no existen iniciativas de reciclaje todavía, ni tampoco valorización de residuos a gran escala, y solo existen algunas pocas pequeñas y medianas empresas dedicadas al rubro. Por lo tanto, unas 3.500 personas en Asunción se ganan la vida principalmente con la recolección y recuperación de residuos. Era fundamental incluirlos en la discusión sobre la gestión de residuos sólidos. Entre las dos iniciativas se han recuperado un total de 44.500 kilogramos de materiales reciclables. Estas campañas involucraron a 23 vecindarios de Asunción combinados, brindando grandes oportunidades de capacitación y concientización principalmente. Luego tenemos las acciones de restauración de la Reserva Ecológica del Banco San Miguel y la Bahía de Asunción. Hay que recordar que la Asunción, la capital del Paraguay, está frente a una bahía que es una entrada del río Paraguay, y hay un gran banco de arena que se llama Banco San Miguel. El proyecto continúa con la restauración de la Reserva Ecológica Banco San Miguel en colaboración con los líderes de las comunidades locales. Entre estas acciones se destaca la creación de la Brigada de Limpieza, integrada por miembros de la comunidad. Es así que en los primeros 3 meses de trabajo, la brigada limpió un total de 7,3 hectáreas y retiró un total de 98.480 kilogramos de residuos de los sitios de disposición informales. Otras acciones incluyeron la construcción de un dique para restaurar el ecosistema de Playa Somera, clave para las aves migratorias que paran en la bahía de Asunción. Asimismo, alrededor de un centenar de miembros de la comunidad y 3 escuelas locales con más de 200 alumnos se beneficiaron a través de talleres de reciclaje, segregación de residuos y compostaje. La comunidad constante y el involucramiento a través de los grupos de trabajo generaron una plataforma efectiva para el diálogo entre los actores relevantes, facilitando la generación de nuevas soluciones. Especialmente el proceso participativo de la creación de una estrategia territorial metropolitana actualmente en curso, dado que la planificación urbana sostenible involucra a muchas instituciones gubernamentales, nacionales y locales, era indispensable compartir y discutir con frecuencia las actualizaciones, las actividades del proyecto entre todas las instituciones involucradas. El grupo de trabajo de la temática de ordenamiento territorial brindó el espacio de diálogo para esta construcción participativa, que lógicamente al tener tantos actores, ya sea también incluso públicos y privados, instituciones públicas del gobierno central, como también municipales, porque el área metropolitana de Asunción está constituida por 11 municipios. Otro de nuestros principales objetivos hacia la conservación de la biodiversidad es la consolidación de un corredor verde urbano. Nuestra meta es conectar las grandes áreas verdes dentro del área metropolitana de Asunción, que suman un total de 13.000 hectáreas, las cuales fueron mapeadas y cuyo plan de conservación de espacios verdes ya ha sido propuesto y validado por los actores relevantes. De este modo, se apunta a beneficiar a toda la población del AMA, o sea, del área metropolitana de Asunción, y a dar pasos concretos en materia de conservación de la biodiversidad urbana. Por otro lado, tenemos la capacitación constante y fortalecimiento institucional para asegurar la sostenibilidad. Para asegurar la implementación exitosa de este proyecto, así como el impacto y la sostenibilidad de las iniciativas, es fundamental lograr un fortalecimiento de la capacitación técnica de las instituciones a través de la capacitación constante de los profesionales técnicos y el desarrollo de materiales para acompañar este proceso. Es así que en el marco del proyecto se produjeron muchas herramientas valiosas para los gobiernos municipales, como ser el Manual de Infraestructura Verde Urbana, que es un manual de arborización que servirá no solamente para los municipios del área metropolitana, sino también para todos los municipios del país. Luego, el manual para viveros forestales urbanos, también para que cada municipio tenga un vivero forestal y también de plantas, flores, etcétera, ¿verdad? Para ornamentar la ciudad. Luego, la guía para la elaboración de planes municipales de gestión y reducción de riesgos, también una guía muy importante considerando todo el cambio climático y los efectos que estamos sufriendo cada vez que hay cambios de tiempo, tormentas, lluvias torrenciales, etcétera, como solemos ver también en otros países. Luego tenemos también la guía para la elaboración de planes municipales de gestión y reducción de riesgo, relacionado a lo que mencioné anteriormente. También las guías para la elaboración de planes municipales de manejo de residuos sólidos y la guía de buenas prácticas y mejores tecnologías disponibles para la gestión de residuos peligrosos, entre otros. El proyecto también organizó una serie de actividades de capacitación y sensibilización para las comunidades locales. Por ejemplo, la Asociación de Recicladores del Barrio San Francisco participó en sesiones de capacitación sobre cómo formalizar la asociación, llevar un registro de los documentos desarrollar procedimientos internos y administrar las redes sociales. Estas sesiones les ayudaron a formalizarse más como asociación y a mejorar sus ingresos. El proyecto también ha trabajado con líderes de organizaciones comunitarias para desarrollar talleres y capacitaciones sobre reciclaje de llantas, compostaje y creación de jardines y huertas orgánicas. Además, en el marco del proyecto se produjeron una gran cantidad de materiales educativos y de concientización que incluyen, primero, videos y materiales gráficos sobre los impactos de los residuos en el medio ambiente, además de materiales sobre el compostaje y las 3 R en el manejo de los residuos sólidos y folletos informativos para estudiantes. Talleres de compostaje para mujeres recicladoras y líderes de sus comunidades. Como resultado de estos trabajos, los recicladores aumentaron sus ingresos y mejoraron sus condiciones laborales y, lógicamente, también de vida. Mediante el proyecto Asunción Ciudad Verde de las Américas, vías a la sustentabilidad, seguimos transitando el camino para convertirnos en ciudades más sustentables y resilientes. Esperamos continuar escalando estas exitosas iniciativas y así poder lograr un mayor impacto de manera sostenible. Finalmente, quisiera mencionar un poco la importancia de este proyecto, que quizás cuando diseñaron este programa de Asunción Verde, Ciudad de las Américas, no pensaron en el impacto positivo para todo el país que tendría, no solamente para los 11 municipios, como mencioné al comienzo, puesto que todos estos programas, todos estos manuales y trabajos que se están haciendo, también ya estamos empezando a replicar en otras ciudades fuera del área metropolitana. Y queremos ya utilizar estos excelentes manuales, modelos de gestión, guía, etcétera, en los otros municipios del país. Hay que tener en cuenta que Paraguay tiene 262 municipios en total en todo el territorio, entre grandes, medianos y pequeños. Y de ahí la importancia y el excelente trabajo que está haciendo el PNUD, por lo cual agradezco también un poco, reitero nuestro agradecimiento de siempre al PNUD, a la JEF y a todos los organismos que están cooperando y también a los que están aportando los recursos necesarios para que el éxito de este programa, que indudablemente va a llegar a buen puerto. Muchísimas gracias por su amable atención.
Muchas gracias, señor viceministro, amigo Jorge Bosch. Le agradecemos su presentación. Les reitero que las preguntas y los comentarios los vamos a ver un poquito más adelante en la sesión. Y entonces vamos a pasar ahora a la presentación del proyecto por parte de los colegas de Indonesia. Y para eso le doy la palabra a mi colega Sojong. Sojong, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, William, and thank you very much, Vice Minister and Sylvia, for sharing the great success story of GEF integrated program in Paraguay. Let me quickly introduce myself. I am SJ. I work with William. I'm a country officer for Asia and Pacific, and it is my pleasure, great pleasure, to moderate this excellent event. So now I'm about to take you to very different setting, far away from Paraguay, to Indonesia peatlands. We have 3 speakers here. William already properly introduced them, so I'm going to just quickly invite my very close counterpart, my friend, Ibu Laksmi. Ibu Laksmi is the OFP, Operational Focal Point of Indonesia. She's a senior advisor to the Minister of the Environment. Ibu Laksmi, you were there? Yes, you just came from a different meeting, so thank you so much for joining. Ibu Laksmi, it's your turn. Please tell us why peatland is important and what contributes to the success of this project.
Thank you, SJ. And thank you for inviting us for this GEF Brown Bag Lunch series. Good practices on community participations and governance for environmental sustainability. We are pleased to introduce our Sustainable Peatland Management Project in Indonesia as one of the GEF Good Practice Brief. Indonesia has approximately 24 million hectares of peatlands, which provide unique ecosystem services and a source of livelihood to rural populations. Peatlands in Indonesia store an estimated 46 gigatons of carbon equivalent to approximately 8 to 14% of all global soil carbon. Despite the local and global importance of these ecosystems, they face a growing number of threats, including illegal logging, agriculture conversion by smallholder farmers and large private sector plantations, fires, and drainage of peatlands. GEF supported sustainable management of peatland ecosystem in Indonesia. Project is promoting sustainable peatland management, secure carbon stocks, and conservation of biodiversity while improving the living standard of local communities. The key features of the projects are, first, strong government commitment to policy development and implementations. Second, an innovative monitoring systems developed with the private sectors. And three, community-based peatland actions with multi-stakeholders partnership. This year, 2022, as a president of the G20, through the theme Recovers Together, Recover Stronger, Indonesia aims to invite the entire world to work together, support one another to recover together, recover stronger, and be more sustainable. One of the key environmental and climate change topics is promoting sustainable management unique ecosystem, including mangrove, peatland, and coral reef, to enhance resiliences and ensure the economic and social well-being of communities. In the collaboration with GEF, other governments, and international partners, Government of Indonesia is willing to further promote sustainable management of unique ecosystems, including peatland, mangrove, and coral reef, to enhance the resilience and social benefits of local community. So I do hope that this information shared from Indonesia project will be useful. So thank you. Let me now invite my colleagues, IFAD representative, Mr. Ivan Casio. Ivan, time is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Ibu Laxmi. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Good morning, dear GEF colleagues, dear Ibu Laxmi, Director General of Climate Change of the Government of Indonesia, colleagues from the Government of Indonesia, señor Viceministro de Urbanismo del Paraguay, colegas representantes del PNUD en Paraguay. IFAD is delighted and proud with this project, and that this project was selected as a good practice by GEF. We are aware the project's importance goes much beyond the country, because Indonesia accounts for around 20% of the global tropical peatlands, what is huge. And what also means that whatever happens in the Indonesia peatlands has potential for global impact. So this is the dimension and importance of the project from our perspective. IFAD celebrates the success of the project, which was possible, I have to say, to the strong commitment of the government of Indonesia, and thanks to the top technical capacity of the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. The project has contributed to implement substantial policies on peatlands and has strengthened capacities for early warning, for peatland fire prevention, which is not minor, and for monitoring peatland degradation and gas emissions. In addition to that, brought together government, private sector, and local communities, what is not a minor achievement. All these achievements entail the development of tools and instruments for positive impact that go beyond the project. Finally, IFAD is quite proud and happy about the success of this project because it has additionally demonstrated that it is possible to sustainably manage peatlands while at the same time developing livelihoods in benefit of small farmers' well-being. This is why IFAD is proud of this project, and this is why we're proud of the partnership with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry and with the GEF. I stop here, and if you allow me, I would like to invite my colleague Ibuati, who is the Director of Peatlands Degradation Control of the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, and the Project Director. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Paifan. And this is honorable for us to be here to share the project of the SMPE, the GEF 5. And it is honorable for us also that this project being chosen as the best practices for GEF project. So I would like to start my presentation in the slide 4, please, because some of them is already mentioned by Ibu Ami and also Paifan. So the concept of peatland ecosystem restoration in Indonesia is 3 component. The first one is bring back the and preserve the water, bring back and preserve the vegetation, and also improve local community. Canal blocking, either in concession or community area, is a part of preserve the water in the peatland ecosystem. And the rehabilitation of vegetation can be carried out by replanting of local timber, tree, and or natural succession, and the improvement of community livelihood during the development of canal blocking. It provide community of water for fish pond and also peatland friendly agriculture production to improve community livelihood. Next, please. This is the GEF 5, Sustainable Peatland Management, Sustainable Management of Peatland Ecosystem in Indonesia. This is the GEF round 5. We have 3 GEF project. The first one is the previous one is GEF 4, GEF 5, and then GEF 6 and GEF 7. Thank you very much for the GEF. The duration of the project 4 years, starting from the 2017-2021. And we are currently on the process of the exit and closing the project by this year. The project location in Rio, and the goal of this project is sustainable peatland management, secure carbon stock, and conserve biodiversity while improving the living standard of local communities. And this project consists of 3 project outcomes. The first one, capacity building and institutional improvement, and the second one, peatland degradation monitoring, forest fire, and greenhouse gas emission. And the third is sustainable peatland management, knowledge expanded and exchange. Next, please. This picture shows the location of the project. There is the green line on there. The project is in the 3 districts, and we have 14 villages as the community the livelihood improvement as a pilot project of Desa Mandiri Pudil Gambut. This project in this component 3, the purpose of these activities is to encourage community to directly involve in the peatland protection and management in the area. Next, please. The next picture shows that the more canal on peatland in that area, the potential for fire tends to increase. And since 2018-2021, with the SMPE project, we already developed canal blocking at about 313. Next, please. And this is the canal blocking establishment. The goal of this canal blocking construction is to improve groundwater level, reduce fire risk and carbon emission, reduce size and of burn pit areas, retain water on the canals, and enhance the agriculture productivity. Next, please. And this picture shows the automatic fire danger rating signboard. This is the manual for monitor water level monitoring in the community area with the sign color, so easier for community recognize that the water level is in danger, give the potential for fire in the red color, and the water level is secure. It means that peatland wet in the green and also blue colors too. So this is the method to easier for community involvement in the water level monitoring in the area. Next, please. The next slide shows that the groundwater level getting increased after the intervention of the canal blocking construction in the area in the Indragiri Hilir district, and also the other village that the project located. Next, please. And this next slide shows that after the intervention of this project, the hotspot tend to reduce. So we can see the very small dot red on the picture from the 2015 into 2018, 16. If compare the previous slide, please compare with the 2017 and 2021, that less red dot on it because of the intervention of the canal blocking development. Next, please. Next, please. The next slide shows the CIMATAC minus 0.4 meter. It is the system, the database that we already developed using, of course, support by GEF5 SMBI component 1. This is the sophisticated database. Everybody, when we shows this database, that this is the one in the world. This database manage the more than 10,000 station for water level monitoring across the country that already intervention by the rewetting and also rehabilitation activities in the as a part of restoration on the peatland ecosystem. Next, please. And the upper layer of the CIMATAC minus 0.4 meter, we have also already developed the information system for the protection management in Indonesia, so-called CPEC. This is the upper layer of the CIMATAC that also provide not only for water level monitoring, but also we provide the peatland quality index, early warning system, water balance, and also greenhouse gas emission in the from the field monitoring. And this is not only for the government staff, but also available, accessible for the community to support us in terms of the peatland protection and management by the community. Next, please. So the last is the lesson learned. Oh, this is the summary of the rating given to the SMB project. Last year, we got a satisfactory. Thank you for the support from IFAD to get this appreciation. increase every year, and hopefully when we close the project, we get the highest rating. Thank you. Then the last one is the lesson learned from the project implementation. We got 3 main points of the lesson learned. The first one on this site implementation, we realized that share vision will with the all stakeholders. We have to use the appropriate language since they have a different level of economic, different level of education, and also different culture and social economics. So we have to use the appropriate language. Second, integrated approach from planning to implementation, from policy to action, and so far. And the third, collaboration approach. Yes, Pak Ivan has already mentioned the involvement of all stakeholders at every step since at the beginning, the involvement of the local government and central at province and district, and also the community. And dedicated teamwork is also essential for this project at the site level. And the second one, collaboration with the implementing agency and also GEF. It is indeed challenging for both of us, for the government of Indonesia and also IFAD as the implementing agency, and GEF, of course, and develop mutual respect, mutual trust, and mutual benefit based on the project implementation manual is essential in maintaining the collaboration. And the last one, acceleration of the peatland ecosystem protection and management. With this project, enhance national capacity and support in Indonesia positioning as front runner on peatland ecosystem protection and management, and then provide opportunity to share knowledge, experience, and collaboration to other countries with peatland to achieve the global target of peatland ecosystem conservation and sustainable management, and its contribution of greenhouse gas emission reduction. So thankful for the GEF and also IFAD as implementing agency and supporting the achievement of GEF of 5 SMPE sustainable management of peatland in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laksmi. Thank you very much, Ivan and Ati. So I would like to invite Laksmi for the final word. This has been requested by Laksmi. She would like to say some the GEF role in Indonesia and looking towards GEF 8. Laksmi.
Thank you, SJ, and thank you for giving me another opportunity. So allow me to add one point, which is one of the important elements of the role of the GEF in the context of environmental protection and management programs in Indonesia. So in addition to having to meet the requirements of the GEF and in accordance with the framework of the GEF program, every GEF project in Indonesia must be in line and aligned with national policy and programs. With its unique financing, we value GEF support as a catalyst to able to accelerate other environmental projects financed by national and local sources. So thus the benefit received both by various stakeholders and for environment itself will be multiplied. So I think that's one of the uniqueness of having GEF support, especially for Indonesia. And I thank and appreciate all the GEF support to Indonesia, not only the sustainable peatland management, but also for other project on environmental protection and management. So SJ, if I'm allowed, I also would like to take this opportunity to congratulate and appreciate the Paraguay Vice Ministers of Urban Planning and the UNDP colleagues for the excellent presentations. So I'm glad that I hear your presentations on the Association Green City of the Americas project. I do actually one questions, if allowed. This question, I always put these questions to all GF project in Indonesia. So the question is, what are the challenges that will be faced in integrating or mainstreaming all the excellent results and best practices from the project into a longer-term national or local development agenda, as well as the national or local budget, as for ensuring the sustainability? And what are the strategies to overcome the challenges? So I really would like to learn from Paraguay, because I believe that we need to learn from each other to ensure that our effort in protecting and managing our environment will be sustainable. Thank you, SJ. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Yes, thank you so much for posing the questions for Paraguay. Yesterday we discussed there are some common themes, although projects are very different, there are always common themes that we can learn each other. So yes, with this, I'll hand over to William.
Thank you very much. Thank you for those presentations. I see that some of the questions coming up in the chat, including my own, actually referred to what are the challenges, and I think those are always good questions because we learn a lot from the challenges we face and how we address them. But those will be coming up later on when Sojang manages the questions part. And so let me move quickly now to our discussant, Shumang from the World Bank and also Ulrika Naluk from the GEF Secretariat. Let me give the floor to Shumang.
First, let me thank Jeff for this excellent opportunity for sharing some thoughts. I also like to thank all the presenters for offering wonderful insight experience you have shared. And I would say that I'm, through the Global Platform for Sustainable Cities supported by the GEF and the World Bank team and myself have learned quite a lot from the Asociación, the Green City projects in Uruguay, in Paraguay. And so, in fact, we worked with UNDP team and to share the lessons with other cities. So one thing is that it's quite interesting to see how those lessons generated from Indonesia, from Paraguay, have now been incorporated into GF7. For example, at least I know the 5-country program, 5 big city program from Indonesia, China, and Rwanda, and Sierra Leone. All of them have incorporated local community participation, urban biodiversity, climate change, how you use the integrated approach to promote nature positive development, how to promote low carbon development. So those are very important lessons. So that's good to say that those lessons are not lost, that they will carry on through the GF6, through GF5, GF6, GF7, all the way to the GF8. So I would like to share through what we have done and what I have seen and working with cities, with countries through the GEF and other projects. And I would like to offer probably 3 lessons, some thoughts. And the first, we have heard from Paraguay, the greening cities, urban nature, but we have both heard from Indonesia, from Paraguay, and for others, how important about local communities' participation. Eventually, when we talk about urban nature, greening cities, I always think that urban nature is different from, say, pristine nature reserves. We are talking about cities are about people. So in the end, we are talking about how to identify the balance, the harmony between nature and people. And that's really what is urban nature about. And that's where we talk about the importance of local communities' participation. And it's them would benefit the good nature. It's them that would provide solutions. It's the local community that would provide long-term conservation for the urban nature. So I think I'm really very glad the GEF Secretary organized this very important panel and highlighting local communities' participation. So that's the first. The second source, and we have heard how important about planning. The planning eventually is about governance. And that's where we also come down to that how we do a better job to integrate ecological planning into the land use planning. And that's really a challenge because when cities grow, population grows and economic growth and face another pressure, competing demands, how you decide that the wetlands in Ascension not to convert into another road, another build-up areas, and preserve that, how to balance that competing demands. And that's where it's important that to provide all the different tools and training and the understanding about the importance of the urban ecology and the nature. And we have heard from Paraguay that from the Vice Minister talking about all these tools and the guidelines they provided to the urban planners, practitioners. That's very important part. And through my own work, and we have done say that how to quantify, understand ecological services. So those greenland, those parks, wetlands are not very good to have. In fact, they provide important ecological services. And the idea is that what kind of ecological services, how to quantify them, how to make an inventory to understand that what exactly the benefits, those the urban nature, natural, the reserves, they provide to the residents of the cities and communities. So that's the second part. And the third, and I think that we also, the projects also talk about private sector participation. We have seen the growing impact of investing in low carbon development, but one thing, it is a challenge when we talk about investing in nature. It's difficult to find that a revenue stream. But on the other hand, I would think that perhaps Jeff and also through our projects, one thing we can do is that there's that if I compare with what has done quite successfully in the area of climate change, because they do have the quantified benefits, emission reduction, quantifiable. So the private sector, when they do the green bonds, actually they see the benefits. So on the invest in nature, one of the, I would think the missing gap and a quite important basis is that how would you quantify in a measurable way the benefits, and then the investors will come and understand that when they invest, what are the benefits they actually invest, and it's quantifiable. So that is something we are hoping that the GF7 projects, at least some of the projects we are managing, and will produce some of those results that would fit into the GF8 and beyond. So thank again for this opportunity, and very much thank for Jeff's support for initiating Sustainable City Program, and then carry on and supporting a nature positive and carbon neutral development. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Shuman, for your participation and observations. And now I give the floor to Ulrich. You have the floor.
Yes, hello, everyone. Turning my camera on. These were really very insightful and informative presentations. Thank you very much. So I am the coordinator of the land degradation focal area, and I'm also the program manager for the peatland project in Indonesia. And then, of course, it makes me very happy that this project has been selected as a best practice example. And I wanted to congratulate the government of Indonesia for it. And of course, IFAD as the lead agency in this project. But what I would like to bring into the discussion is that this is not only one project effort, and is the Lakshmi has already alluded to, it is actually a long-term cooperation between the GEF and the government of Indonesia on peatlands, which started already in GEF 3 in 2002, so more than exactly 20 years ago, through a medium-sized project. And in every replenishment cycle, we had an investment on peatlands in Indonesia, and we continue to do so now in GEF 7 by developing another peatland projects on community-based conservation of peatland landscapes. And I think this is really important to have this kind of long-term cooperation, because in the natural resource management sector, it is important to work long-term on these efforts and not only through one isolated project. What is also very interesting is that those projects in JEF 5 and JEF 6, they were funded by our Sustainable Forest Management Program. So there was an additional incentive available to provide to these projects. And these programs, the SFM program, was really designed to bring out the multiple benefits for all three conventions: for biodiversity, for climate change through carbon sequestration, and land degradation through avoidance of land degradation and socio-economic local benefits. And I think this has really worked out very, very well in the series of projects. So the lessons learned that I wanted to bring up is really that we need this kind of long-term commitment to these issues. And I would like also to hear from the presenters if they share this opinion, if they also think that this long-term commitment has brought out some of the good results, and how do we go from here? How do we upscale those results? How do we what remains to be done? What gaps still need to be filled in the future? So let me stop here. Thanks again for the very insightful presentations, and for also for IFAD in taking the lead in these efforts on peatlands in Indonesia. And I look forward for the discussions in the remaining time of the BBL. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ulrich. And so let me now give the floor to Alok. Please go ahead.
Sí, permiso, Williams. Quisiera,
sí, adelante, ministro.
Quisiera agradecer los comentarios sobre Paraguay, y para las preguntas concretas quisiera pasar la palabra a la ingeniera Alejandra Kemper, que es la coordinadora general de este exitoso proyecto.
Sí, cómo no. En cuanto terminemos con la presentación de las observaciones de Alok, pasaremos a las preguntas y respuestas, y con mucho gusto le damos la palabra. So, Alok, please go ahead.
Yes. Can you hear me, William?
Yes, please go ahead, Alok.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, William. And thanks, Shuman, for your excellent observations. You categorized the three lessons from this excellent project in Asuncion very well. Just to introduce, I coordinate the JF Sustainable Cities program. And just like Ulrich, it is always a pleasure to hear directly from our projects or cities, stakeholders, agencies on how the program is able to support cities on their sustainability ambitions and generate rich knowledge for the application globally. I would like to start by saying that the Asuncion project was supported under the JEF 6 Sustainable Cities Integrated Approach Pilot Program. And in many ways, this project has been a true pilot. It has been providing excellent lessons on integration and real demonstration of how participatory approaches can actually be applied in a city context. So I would like to thank Vice Minister, resident representative from UNDP, and all involved to develop such an excellent project. Two key and interrelated aspects of integrated approach of our cities program have been integrated planning for land use and infrastructure, and improved governance, which is characterized by vertical and horizontal institutional integration. And I think both these elements are very well embedded under this particular project. On the first aspect of planning, we heard from Vice Minister Bosch and also from Sylvia how the city has been working extensively on integrated land use planning that is highly participatory and gives a very strong importance to nature. On the second topic, which is on governance, and which is the topic of the BBL today, I think there cannot be a better example or evidence of how you can apply a concept and make it actionable. then this is this city project in Asunción, Paraguay. Improved urban governance, as I said earlier, has two aspects. One is the vertical integration and horizontal integration. The project demonstrates the vertical integration aspect, which is institutional coordination across all levels of governments. So we saw from the presentation made by Sylvia how national governments, metropolitan, metropolitan governance, municipalities, and even at neighborhoods, there are citizen associations. So all are, working together towards environmental sustainability and to make this integration approach work. I guess there is a clear role and task defined for all these institutions in the project, depending on their strengths and decision-making powers. And at the same time, there are innovative governance arrangements, which is enabling, right technical and political decisions from all levels to make the program work. The horizontal integration part, I think that is also demonstrated very well with creation of a number of working groups, project boards, steering committees, and very innovative, the Association of Municipalities. While the working group covers a range of sectors like planning, transport, waste, green areas, finance, etc. I think the coordination through some of these committees is something that brings all of them under one umbrella. So I think this is really great to hear, because we think from our cities program, this is fundamental to deliver multiple benefits for environment and human well-being in a manner which is synergistic and which delivers results which is more than some of the parts. And that's what our integrated approach programming is all about. This integration is also relevant in context of green recovery. And when we were doing an assessment last year on this, we came across this particular project as one of the good examples. Maybe I can quickly invite my colleague Mia to say a few words, who is documenting how cities are striving for green recovery through integration approach. Mia, can you come in and talk about the report in a minute or so?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Alok. And hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Mia Kallenberg. I work with Alok on the Sustainable Cities Program, and really want to congratulate everyone for these great presentations. And I have learned a lot during this BBL. I also wanted to let you all know that we are in the process of finalizing a short report on how cities around the world are working towards urban transformation and how this can indeed contribute to a green recovery from the COVID pandemic. So while a lot has been written about what cities can or should do to build back better, with this report, we really wanted to highlight how many cities are already taking action and achieving great results on the ground, which can be then scaled up and replicated elsewhere. So this short report is building on the lessons learned from our Sustainable Cities program. And as Alok mentioned, the project in Asunción and Paraguay is included as a great example of how cities can strengthen the link between nature and urban areas through transboundary planning and through integration of nature inside cities. And it really shows how governance and community participation are key aspects to achieve benefits for the global environment, but also for the urban populations living in cities for their health and their well-being. So we expect this report to be published within the coming months. Please keep your eyes open for that. Thank you very much. Back to you, Alok.
Thank you, Mia. This is really useful. And I just would like to conclude by just echoing what Shuman said earlier, that the lessons from this project and from a few other projects in GEF 6 has been really informing our GEF 7 projects and in different countries, and also our work at the global level. We are seeing similar efforts being taken by many cities, across all geographies, and particularly I'm happy to note the UNDP, which is really doing an excellent job on this particular project, is expanding this in the 2 cities where they will be working in JEF7 in Marrakesh in Morocco and San Jose in Costa Rica. And I'm sure the lessons which were shared today will be very useful for Indonesia as well, which will be initiating its JEF7 cities program this year with support from the World Bank. And we aim to advance this further in the JEF8 period. So that's my key reflections, primarily on the governance side. And I think this is really incredible. It is easy to talk or easy to say that, okay, we need integrated governance and we need all these institutional coordination, but it is hard to practice. Every institution has its own, incentive. They have their conflicting, priorities, but to see, how they come together towards a common goal of environmental sustainability and well-being of people is really amazing. And if Minister Bosch or Sylvia can share, or Ibu Lakshmi asked, some of the challenges they faced when they started the project, I think that will be really useful, because that's something that every city is facing, and they can learn from you on how you tackled those to deliver these successful results. So thanks a lot, and back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Lot and Mia, and also to Shuman and Ulrich for your insights. And now let me hand back to Sujong for the questions and comments period. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. Yes. So what I did, Ikuko and I, we reviewed the questions. We kind of categorized as general questions and more technical questions. So we would like to actually start with the William's question about the challenge, how you overcome. And also Lakshmi posed the question about how the national Paraguay managed to develop strategy to support long-term strategy. Perhaps we could start with this more general questions. We could start with the Paraguay to answer, and then I can turn back to Indonesia to answer. What do you think? Would that work? Vice Minister or UNDP Paraguay team, would you like to answer?
Yes, I will give Alejandra Kemper the table so she can answer the questions.
Thank you, Vice Minister. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone. I would like to thank the JEF for this opportunity. As project manager of this project and on behalf of the team, we're very happy to be able to share our experiences and also to learn from the Indonesian project. So to answer, SJ, both of your questions, I would start with the last question and then go back to the first one, if that's okay with you. So to try to guarantee sustainability of the initiatives that we have been implementing with the project, we are trying to keep these working groups working beyond the project deadline. So the idea is to build capacity within the technical officers within each municipality and also each one of the ministries involved in the project, and kind of keep the conversation going, not only about operational aspects of the project, but also about general sustainability and urban issues that each of these institutions have a specific role in kind of addressing these specific issues. So the idea is to keep these groups going beyond the project's life cycle, so that these discussions keep going even after the project ends. So one specific tool is actually this association of municipalities that Silvia was talking about. So this association has the idea of gathering together not only the mayors, but also the technical officers that are working in the 11 municipalities that are part of the metropolitan area of Asunción, to talk about issues that go beyond the administrative borders of each municipality and that should be addressed as metropolitan issues, because even though there are 11 municipalities, if actually, well, William has been here, he said, but if you actually come here, you will see that you cannot distinguish the border between one municipality and the other. So they are very linked, and every decision that one municipality takes with respect to transportation or solid waste management affects the other. So I think a change of paradigm has occurred within these 11 mayors, and they have seen the importance to work together to coordinate and to talk about these issues in an integrated manner. Even though they still have their own responsibilities and their own activities, they have seen the importance by joining this association, the importance of working together in a coordinated way. So I think this is one of the tools that will help guarantee sustainability of all the initiatives that we are carrying out within the project, and kind of keep this coordinated work going on through the mayor specifically, and also with the central government, because actually this association was initiated by the Ministry of Urbanism through the Vice Minister of Urbanism. So this has come from the central government in an attempt to kind of coordinate more even with the local government and the local government within the different municipalities that are part of this metropolitan area. So this is kind of an important tool to guarantee sustainability. And with regard to the first question, which was the challenges, at first the project contemplated a project board and a technical committee, as Silvia was commenting in her part of the presentation. But when the project started, we saw that there were a lot of stakeholders that went beyond the ministers and the mayors that had to be involved in the more kind of technical operational aspects of the project. So as a team and together with the national counterpart, we were thinking, what is the best way to kind of have these conversations and involve different stakeholders from different ministries. And so the idea of working groups came up. And this idea was implemented since the inception workshop. So right from the beginning of the project in 2018, and has been working and since then through these 8 working groups, which are divided by themes. So transportation has a working group, and urban green areas is another working group. And officers from municipalities and also from the ministries work together and get together once a month now virtually to talk about not only the specific activities of the project, but also general issues regarding the specific theme of the working group. So the challenge was how to bring down the general governance of the project that was included in the design of the project to a kind of more practical way of involving everyone. And then, of course, as the project was being developed, we identified other stakeholders that had to be involved from the beginning. And these include, for example, the community of the reserve of Banco San Miguel, which both Silvia and the Vice Minister were talking about. And this is actually a community that has been with the project from the beginning, and they are completely empowered with their area. And just to make it short, this is a very complicated area in the city of Asunción. It's a reserve, a natural reserve, but it has a lot of problems with solid waste disposal. So this brigade made of 10 people from the community are actually getting a lot of training, but also transmitting this information to other members of the community. So the group is getting bigger and bigger. And this is also one way, I think, of leaving this capacity installed in territory, so that these people, after the project ends, they are completely empowered with the activities, and they keep on going with this cleaning initiatives and with kind of safeguarding their environment because they live there in the zone near from the reserve. So I hope I answered the questions. I'm open to receive more questions or to clarify any points if necessary.
Thank you so much. I think that's very clear, and I think it totally makes sense. So now I'd like to turn to maybe Lakshmi or Ati. I assume that you probably face a similar challenge, and there was a question about the multi-stakeholder platform. Particularly, how did you engage private sector? If you could also, tell us how you manage that. Lakshmi or Ati or Ivan, whoever would like to answer.
Ibu Ami, do you want to say something?
You may answer the question, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Ami, for the opportunity to give some information regarding on the engagement or participation of the concession holders of the private sectors. The first one, in terms of the peatland restoration, they have mandatory so easy for us to improve or promote their compliance to the regulation regarding on the peatland protection and management. And currently, almost all of the forest industry has has complied for the peatland restoration in the field. And also almost 2/3 of the palm oil industry also comply to the what we call restoration for peatland area in their concession holders. So it is easier for us to monitor for the compliance. Of course, because we have the real-time monitoring and also integrated with satellite imagery. It's so easy for us to identify whether the data is fabricated or not. If yes, we will check in the field. So, and in the other hand, we also developed the what we call private PPP, people-private partnership. So encourage the community to work together with, to encourage the private sector to work together with the community, because in restoring the peatland, we have to use the terminology and the spatial restoration, what we call PHU based, since in the PHU is utilized by several activities, so we have to work together in the same fashion with not only the private sector but also the community. But it works well using the concept of stewardship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ati. So now I think we have one technical question for Paraguay. It's about the circular economy. This question came from Alia. There was mention of circular economy incorporated into the project and mention of composting, e-cycling in Asuncion. From any of the project, could we hear more about the effort to foster redesign for reuse, recycling, composting, encourage extended life?
Yes, thank you, SJ. Yes, as it was mentioned, a key part of the project is actually focusing efforts on improving solid waste management and generating awareness on the importance of segregating at origin. So here, one of the key aspects of the project was the partnership with the private sector. So the Vice Minister mentioned 2 campaigns that we are carrying out with the private sector. One has already finished, it was carried out in 2020. And it was called Asuncion Recycles, and this actually has the aim of promoting segregation at origin and working with urban recyclers that take this valuable material and then sell them. So it has not only an environmental impact in the sense that it reduces the amount of waste that actually goes and ends up in landfill, but it also helps the recyclers to get more materials and to work in more clean and dignified conditions. And the second initiative was, or is actually, because it's still ongoing, My Neighborhood Without Waste. And this is also, this also aims to work with neighbors and recyclers together through a digital platform that connects both of them. So citizens are urged or motivated to segregate their waste in 5 neighborhoods of the city of Asuncion, and then to connect through this platform with 5 urban recyclers that go around these neighborhoods and collect the materials and then sell them. This has been quite successful. We are now trying and planning the next phase of this initiative for this year. It actually was carried out between June and December 2021. We are now taking January and February to plan this year, and we are aiming to start again in March of this year and carry the initiative out until December 2022. So these are kind of small steps and initiatives to try to promote segregation at origin, which should be at the center of our focuses. Of course, recycling and recovering materials is also important, but the center of these two campaigns is actually to raise awareness on the importance of segregating at origin, to help also recyclers get more materials and sell and be part of this value chain of solid waste that is actually occurring in the metropolitan area of Asunción. As the Vice Minister said, there are only small to medium companies that actually recycle today in Paraguay. So the idea is to strengthen also other parts of the solid waste management chain, which are the recyclers, and also to reinforce all of these initiatives with regulations, which are key to provide a framework for every initiative. So in this sense, we work together with the Ministry of Environment here in Paraguay to create the solid waste management plan and the hazardous waste management plan, and also to create some resolutions from the Ministry of Environment to make these plans available to everyone, and also to give some guidelines to municipalities on how to make their own local waste management plans. So we are now with the project supporting the 11 municipalities of the metropolitan area of Asunción to create their plans and to kind of regulate this area of their work locally. And this will be carried out during this year. So to kind of bring these national plans to a more local level and kind of try to put these initiatives that we are carrying out within a framework of each municipality. So the idea is to strengthen awareness raising campaigns, but also to create the regulations and the framework necessary to carry out these activities and other pilots that we also have within the project, which is a recycling pilot and also a segregation pilot in 2 key areas of the city of Asunción.
Thank you so much. A lot to learn. All right. So I think we, William, we pretty much covered all the questions, the comments posed in the chat.
Well, thank you very much, SJ. And as we come to the end, I'd like to say we were delighted that we had at least I saw up to 100 people connected at this time, which shows that there is an interest in this kind of activity, and the knowledge that you communicate to us and the experiences that you share will be taken up by, I'm sure, other colleagues and friends who are here and applied to their own experience and adapted to their own situation, which is the whole point of having this exchange of knowledge. I'm also thankful to those in Indonesia who stayed up very late. I'm sure it's not the ideal time of the day for you, but we really appreciate your sharing your time, your knowledge, and your experience with us. If you don't like to turn on your cameras, we'll try to take a picture or a few pictures of the different screens. So please all turn on your cameras so that we can see you. And while we do that, I see Yasmin would like to say a few words, and I think it's very appropriate since she is the lead on knowledge and learning in the Secretariat. So Yasmin, as we take the pictures, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, William. This was a fantastic event. We certainly need more of it. Thank you all for joining us. It's such a pleasure to hear from all of the wonderful experiences around the world and some good practices and lessons that we can all share amongst each other. And this is going to, I think, provide a lot of inspiration for our new projects that are hopefully coming up in GEF 8 and beyond. So thanks again for joining, and thanks again for actually participating and commenting. And I hope that you'll be able to take all of these discussions we had today back to your offices, back to your colleagues, and reflect on them and share them with others. And if you have any questions, any thoughts or comments, please let us know. We are here for you. And with this, I would like to also thank all of my colleagues here who were working so diligently to make this event happen. Ikuko, who's actually been very actively preparing these GEF good practice briefs together with our agencies and our GEFSEC colleagues. And thanks again to William and Sarjang for facilitating wonderfully. And of course, Françoise for her wonderful opening statements. that have put impetus behind all of our work. And thank you again. And I guess it's photo time.
That's right. I'm sure our colleagues are taking the photos of the different screens, since we can't all be on the same screen at the same time. But they'll be posted on our website. Sorry? Somebody was speaking? Well, if not, then thank you all very much. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. And we hope to see you next time.
We are taking photos, so everyone smile and turn on your videos.
Okay.
Okay, I think we've hopefully got as much as we can here.
Thank you, Ted. And we'll post them on the website, so you can download them from there if you wish. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. Bye now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, William. Thank you, SJ. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Paifan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye from Indonesia.
Thank you very much, Ivan.
Good night.
Thank you to the interpreters.
Thank
very
you,
much.
Bu Ati. Thank you, Alok.